Good afternoon and welcome to today's St. Francis Fighting Saints baseball doubleheader against the Robert Morris University Eagles. Good to have you with me here today. This is Terry Bonadonna on the call for today's action. We've got a Game 1 coming up in just a few moments, so let's take a look at the starting lineups as the host Robert Morris Eagles take the field. Actually, St. Francis is hosting the game, but Robert Morris is the home team based on yesterday's doubleheader that was supposed to have been played at Robert Morris. Ended up being canceled due to the weather. Moved here, so Robert Morris is the home team today, despite the fact that we're playing in Joliet on St. Francis Field. So hopefully you got all that, and now let's get going with the starting lineups. We'll start with the team that is the visitors on the scoreboard, the Fighting Saints. Leading off and playing right field for St. Francis is Travis Schoonover. Dustin Crowe at second and plays short. Hitting third, DH Jake Lasota. Anthony Farron is at first base. Jonathan Wolf bats fifth and plays third. Hitting sixth, catcher Adam Cebulka. John Peterson is at second base. Sean Harper bats eighth and plays left field. And hitting ninth, the center fielder, Bailey Schultz. The starting pitcher here in Game 1 for the Fighting Saints is Angel Sandoval. And now the starting 9-10 really for Robert Morris. Leading things off is their shortstop, Adam Nur. David Duggar bats second and plays right field. Ricky Kemp is at third base. Hitting cleanup, second baseman Chris Broccolino. Tyler Succi hits fifth and plays first base. Batting sixth, left fielder Diego Rincon. Jacob Sposono hits seventh. He is the designated hitter. Hitting eighth is Austin Nelson. Nelson is today's catcher. And batting ninth, center fielder Ty Castillo. The starting pitcher for Robert Morris here in Game 1 of this twin bill is Mike Casterline. Casterline is starting today for the second time this year. Make that the sixth time, sorry. It's the sixth time he started a game this year. It's 4-1 with a 1.91 ERA. This is his eighth appearance overall. And as you can tell, he's been very good as he faces Travis Schoonover leading things off. The right-hander goes into the lineup and fires a first pitch ball down low. We are underway at 1 o'clock on the dot Central Time. 1-0 on Schoonover. Left-hander hitting right fielder for the Fighting Saints. Swings and shoots it foul to the left side. The count is 1-1. Casterline has thrown one complete game this year. He's pitched 33 innings total, allowing 13 runs, 7 of them earned on 37 hits with 16 strikeouts and 9 walks. Opponents are hitting just .212 against Casterline this year. 1 ball and 1 strike on Schoonover. He swings and bounces it foul to the right side. The count is 1-2. Should be a good pitching matchup here in the opener. Casterline against Sandoval, a couple of guys who have been throwing the ball very well of late. Really been throwing the ball very well all season. Casterline, a transfer from Grand Rapids Community College in his junior season playing with Robert Morris. He misses downstairs on Schoonover to even the count at 2-2. St. Francis comes in as the hottest team in the CCAC. They're technically not the first place team in the CCAC. Ball low and in, nearly hit him. And the count moves to 3-2. The ball hit the dirt. To work the count full, Schoonover had been behind, a ball and 2 strikes, and now anything possible on the upcoming 3-2 pitch from Casterline. 6 foot 1 inch tall, 195-pound junior. The right-hander winds and fires. Schoonover hits a line drive to the right side of the infield. Gloved on one hop by Broccolino. His throw to first is in time to beat Schoonover for the first out of the ball game. Good battle between Schoonover and Casterline. Took six pitches, but ultimately the pitcher wins out, getting the ground out to second base. And the batter is Dustin Crowe. St. Francis comes in having won 12 consecutive ball games, all of them here at home. They've improved their record all the way from 4-11 to 16-11. Dustin Crowe swings the first pitch and fouls it back out of play for strike 1. They're 8-0 in conference. All 8 wins have come here at home, and all have come during the current winning streak. They have played 4 non-conference games during the stretch as well. The 0-1 to Crowe. Chased one low and away for strike 2. Dustin Crowe on the season, the starting shortstop for the Fighting Saints, hitting .316 with a homer and 7 RBIs. A right-handed bat awaits the 0-2 from Casterline. Low and away for a ball, 1-2. Fighting Saints entered play today 8-0 in conference, but as I said, not in first place because St. Xavier has played 4 more games than they have, and they're a game up in the standings. Krob takes the ball outside, 2-2. Casterline having a little bit of trouble putting guys away to start off the ball game today. He was ahead of Schoonover 1-2 before he worked the count full. It was 0-2 on Krob, and now an even 2-ball, 2-strike count. It's a grounder to third base. Backhanded stop down the line by Ricky Kemp. Long throw to first is in time to retire Krob, 2 away. Good play by Kemp. Had to go down to the backhand right along the foul line. It was probably less than a foot inside that line in fair territory. He had a long throw to get it across the diamond, but he was able to put the throw on target and retire Krob by about a step and a half. 2 up, 2 down, couple of ground outs. Here's Jake Lasota. Lasota DHing in today's game. Takes the first pitch low and inside from Casterline. Jake's had a nice season at the bat. .305 average, 11 RBIs, 5 doubles. He's got an on-base percentage above 400. And he's ahead in the count here as he takes ball 2 high. 2-0 the count. Casterline is about to throw his 14th pitch of the inning. And Lasota smashes it out to right field, a base hit. First base runner of the game. It's a 2-out single in the top of the first inning. Jake Lasota's aboard in front of Anthony Farron. St. Francis is the visiting team despite wearing their home white uniforms here on their home field at Route 66 Stadium. Robert Morris wears their maroon tops and gray bottoms, but again, they represent the home side on the scoreboard here in game 1 of the doubleheader. So Anthony Farron gets his first chance at bat. Cleanup hitter takes the ball outside. Farron has put on an offensive clinic so far this season, hitting .455 through 25 games. 4 homers, 23 RBIs. He's slugging over 700. His on-base percentage is above 500. But an awkward swing here gets him to a 1-1 count. The snap throw down to first is not in time to catch Lasota. Jake Lasota at first base after a 2-out single. No score in the top of the first inning. 1-1 on Anthony Farron. Throw to first base, and the runner dives back in head first. These 2 games today were supposed to have been played at Robert Morris yesterday. We were originally scheduled for just a single home game today against the Eagles. Farron hits a grounder left side in the hole. Getting in front of that ball is the shortstop, Nern. He has no throw. No play anywhere for Nern. Infield single for Anthony Farron. That ball was not hit terribly hard by Farron. It was in the hole on the left side of the infield. Kemp tried to get over and cut it off, but he couldn't get there in time, so Nern had to field it deep in the hole. And by the time he gloved it, no chance to get either runner. And so he wisely just stuck the ball in his pocket. Back-to-back 2-out singles for St. Francis. Here's Jonathan Wolf. Wolf, the number 5 hitter, swings through the first pitch for strike 1. .219 average this year for Wolf, 1 homer, 13 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. Casterline trying to get out of some first inning trouble. He misses outside for a ball, 1-1. Because of yesterday's postponement, with the games being moved here, St. Francis's homestand continues. Today becomes their 13th and 14th consecutive home games. In the dirt, good block. Lasota trying for third anyway, and the throw's got him beat easily. But he slides in around the tag. He's safe at third base. Jake Lasota moves up to third. Anthony Farron holds his position at first base, and they're at the corners now with a 2-1 count on Jonathan Wolf. Probably an unnecessary risk there from Lasota. The ball did not get away from the catcher, Austin Nelson. The throw had him beat by plenty, though he was able to slide around it. Still, the way that Saints seem to have Casterline a little bit on the ropes here with 2 outs in the inning. Don't want to risk running into an out. As Wolf swings and misses, the count is 2-2. It's been a long first inning for Mike Casterline. He hasn't given up any runs, but he's been in some trouble. He's thrown 21 pitches so far. He's allowed 2 hits, both of them with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Now Farron takes off as Wolf takes a ball. Anthony Farron stands up at second base with a steal. 3-2 on Wolf. Farron just kind of casually jogged into second base, and I almost wonder if he thought there was a 3-2 count there. Pitch was low and well out of the zone. It turned out no throw is made down to second as Wolf swings awkwardly and barely makes contact to keep the at-bat alive with a foul tip. It's been a weird at-bat in some ways. Lasota took third base on a ball that was in the dirt that did not get away from Nelson. Argument at home plate right now is Jason Becker, I think, is indicating that he thinks Wolf was out of the batter's box when he was hit by that foul ball. We saw that in a game a couple of weeks ago. A ball I believe was bunted. I don't remember who the batter was at the time, but he ran into the foul ball outside of the batter's box and was called out on the play. If the foul tip hits you while you're still standing in the box, it's simply a dead ball. If it hits you when you've already left your batter's box, it's still a dead ball, but there's also an out recorded. Nothing doing this time for Robert Morris. It's still 3-2 on Wolf with runners at second and third. Casterline sets and delivers. Wolf hits a grounder sharply hit right at the third baseman Ricky Kemp. His throw to first is in time and the inning is over. 3 ground ball outs in the inning. A long, tough first inning for Casterline, but in the end doesn't let anybody across as the Saints leave 2 men in scoring position. We'll go to the bottom of the first, and Robert Morris will get their first chance at bat in a scoreless tie. Bottom of the first inning, Robert Morris is coming to bat for the first time. Nerd, Duggar, and Kemp set to hit. Broccolino, Sushi, Rincon, Sposaro, Nelson, and Castillo make up the rest of the starting 9, and they're facing sophomore right-hander Angel Sandoval. Sandoval is starting today for the 6th time this year. It's his 7th appearance, 2-3 with a 4.54 ERA. He's into the lineup for his first pitch. Nerd shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Sandoval this year has thrown 35 2/3 innings. He's allowed 19 runs, 18 of them earned on 34 hits with 26 strikeouts and 13 walks. Opponents are batting just .248 against him. The 0-1. Line softly to the right side and out of the reach of John Peterson into right center field. A base hit. Long turnaround first base. He went nearly halfway before putting on the brakes and heading back over to first. It's a single for Nerve. Good start for Robert Morris offensively as their leadoff man is aboard. Here's David Duggar. Duggar's a .356 hitter this year, a homer, 8 RBIs. He's a tough out. It's a tough Robert Morris lineup. Their .276 batting average is just a tad better than St. Francis's .274. Duggar takes ball one up high. Haven't shown a lot of power this year, but a little bit more again than St. Francis. 11 homers in their 24 games. Fighting Saints have 11 in their 27 games. Runs are pretty similar as well. Duggar flies this ball into deep left field. Harper goes back and makes a running catch. Nice play by Harper for the first out of the first inning. Adam Nur is forced to return to first base. Duggar took that ball for a ride, but not deep enough to get it out of the range of Sean Harper. The wind is blowing in from left field today, and that may have benefited the Saints a little bit on that play. One out, one on. The batter is Ricky Kemp. Kemp, another strong hitter at 382. 18 runs batted in. Throw to first base, and the runner dives back in. Robert Morris and St. Francis, pretty similar as well in terms of runs scored. Robert Morris a little bit better in that department than the Fighting Saints are. Ball's flown foul and out of play to the left side. Strike one on Ricky Kemp. Robert Morris has scored 125 runs in 24 games this year. It's just over 5 per game. St. Francis has scored 128 runs, so just a few more than Robert Morris, but in a few more games as well. For them, it's just a little bit under 5 runs per game. Runner goes on the 0-1. Kemp takes the ball. The throw to second base is high, and Nur dives in ahead of the tag. Stolen base for Adam Nur. He's in the scoring position. Count is 1-1 on Kemp. Adam Nur has a single and a steal. He's setting himself up to score the first run of the game. It's his 6th steal this year in 7 attempts. Kemp takes a strike over the outside corner. Pitchers count at 1-2. St. Francis threatened in the top of the first inning. They put 2 runners on base, both of them with 2 outs, back-to-back singles. Steal and a wild pitch helped them advance. They were at second and third when the inning ended. There's a hard 2-hopper over to second base. John Peterson picks it up and throws to first. Ricky Kemp is retired. Nur advances to third base on the play. And that's one scenario in which the stolen base probably hurt Robert Morris more than anything. Of course, you never know which pitch would have been thrown and how he would have swung at it if there had been a runner at first instead of a runner at second. But if Kemp hits that ball with Nur at first base, it's probably a single. Broccolino bats for the first time, swings the first pitch, pops it up to the right side. Foul ground, fair and over in front of the Robert Morris dugout, runs out of room. That ball's a couple rows up, strike one on Broccolino. 2 outs and a man at third base. Again, Nur was at first with 1 out, so the middle infielders were playing at double play depth. If they had been playing double play territory when Kemp hit his liner to the right side, probably would have gotten past John Peterson into right field. But because he had backed off of second base a little bit, the runner there instead of at first, he was able to make the play. Swing and a miss from Chris Broccolino, strike 2. Broccolino's a .286 hitter, 4 homers to lead the ball club. His 20 RBIs are 2 ahead of Ricky Kemp and also lead the team. Here comes the 0-2 from Angel Sandoval. Check swing on a ball low and outside. It's now 1-2. Sandoval out of St. Lawrence High School. 6 foot, 185 pounds. Enjoying a strong sophomore season so far, particularly in conference play. There's a wild pitch to the backstop, and Nur comes in to score. Robert Morris takes a 1-0 lead. 2-2 on Broccolino. The bases are empty now. And that's a kick to the teeth of Angel Sandoval. Give up the leadoff single. But he was just 1 strike away from ending the inning as he got Chris Broccolino to 0-2. And now an ill-timed wild pitch scores a run. Still trying to put away the cleanup batter. 2-2 on Broccolino. He fists one foul and off the screen just to the right. Still 2-2. Tyler Sushi is on deck. Robert Morris trying to mount a 2-out rally. They've already got 1 run in, thanks to a single, a stolen base, a ground out, and a wild pitch. That ball is stroked into center field. Coming in is Bailey Schultz. He makes the catch and ends the inning. They go 1-2-3 after the leadoff single, but the one hit was enough to produce a run. And as we head to the second, Robert Morris leads St. Francis 1-0. Nothing Robert Morris after an inning. St. Francis's offense put a little scare into Mike Casterline in the first inning, but weren't able to break through. We'll see if they can break all the way through here in the second inning with Adam Cebulka leading things off. Cebulka swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Cebulka, Peterson, and Harper due up against Casterline, who needed 24 pitches to get through the first inning. He gave up 2 singles and stranded runners at second and third. The 0-1. Cebulka chops it foul down the third base line, strike 2. Casterline this season has 36 strikeouts and 33 innings pitched coming in. A little bit better than 1 per inning, didn't have any in the first. He's ahead of Cebulka, 0-2. Adam Cebulka's a 208 hitter. And he chops it down the third base line, this time just fair. Kemp gloves and throws for out number 1. Casterline's really pounding the ground right now. It's been a busy afternoon for the first couple of innings already for Ricky Kemp. The third baseman has 3 assists on the first 4 outs, all of which have been groundouts. Here's John Peterson. Peterson, the second baseman, is hitting .227 for the year. 7 runs batted in. Ball 1 high. Four groundouts in the early going, forced by Mike Casterline. Peterson takes ball 2 up high. Casterline has not had excellent control so far in the game. He's fallen behind a handful of batters. Hasn't walked anybody though. And there's ball 3 on Peterson. 14 balls thrown in the game among his 30 pitches. And that one misses high as well. Peterson draws a 4-pitch walk. 3 of the balls were up above the chest. 1 out base runner for St. Francis. First base runner they've had with fewer than 2 outs. It's the third they've had total through the first 7 hitters. Here's Sean Harper. 1 on, 1 out. Harper, the left fielder, hitting .233. 3 runs batted in. He takes strike 1. Coming off of a very good doubleheader this past Wednesday against St. Ambrose. Fighting Saints won those 2 games on Wednesday afternoon and into the evening. 5-2 and 8-1. Oh, and 1 on Harper, who played a big part in both of those wins. He's gotten the average up pretty consistently over the last few weeks. He was below 200 early on in this homestand. Homestand began on March 13th. They still have not played a road game since March 9th. Hopefully that trend continues, or it continues through the end of today. I guess it will definitely. Hopefully it ends tomorrow. The 0-1 pitch. Harper shows bunt but misses for strike 2. This was supposed to be a 3-game weekend series with 2 games at Robert Morris yesterday and a single game here today. Because of yesterday's postponement, it becomes a doubleheader here today and a single game at Robert Morris tomorrow. Harper hits a weak grounder to third base, charging his Kemp. He's got to throw quickly over to first, and he does get Harper by half a step. Good play by Kemp, who's already got his 4th assist of the ballgame. Peterson advances to second base on the play. He's in scoring position. The third Fighting Saint base runner into scoring position in the first 2 innings. The batter is Bailey Schultz. Schultz is the number 9 hitter and center fielder. He takes ball 1 up and away. Schultz sitting 132 this year with 3 runs batted in. Trying to come up with the clutch 2-out RBI hit here. Casterline sets for the 1-0. Ripped down the left field line, but foul. 1-1. If tomorrow's game at Robert Morris is not able to be played, Saints are at Trinity International on Tuesday. And then a week from yesterday, a doubleheader at Olivet Nazarene on Saturday. So, one way or another, this stretch of home games is going to have to end this week. This is number 13 consecutively. Popped up into shallow right field towards the gap, and now a running grab made by David Duggar. He misjudged it. He came in, and at the last instant realized he needed to go back. He changed his angle and just barely was able to pull it in. Got to the spot he needed to at just the right time to retire Schultz and end the inning. That was very nearly disastrous for Robert Morris. Instead, Casterline pitches around the 1-out walk and does not allow any runs. To the bottom of the second, 1-0 Robert Morris. Tyler Succi leads off the second inning. Takes ball 1 inside from Angel Sandoval. Robert Morris leads 1-0. Scored a run on a first inning wild pitch that saw Adam Nur across home plate. Succi grounds one sharply through the hole on the left side, a base hit. For the second straight inning, Robert Morris has their leadoff man on. Succi's single starts off the bottom of the second inning. We're playing 7 here in game 1 of a doubleheader. Here's Rincon. Diego Rincon, the left fielder, batting for the first time today, a .278 hitter. Homer, 9 RBIs this year. Sandoval sets for the first pitch and delivers a strike over the inside corner. Robert Morris did a good job of manufacturing a first inning run. Just 1 hit, and all it was a single. He was the only base runner. Stole second, moved to third on a ground out, and then crossed the plate on a wild pitch. Foul back and play. 4-2. I don't know if that's always the recipe for scoring runs, but they've got the leadoff man on again here in the second inning. So we do have another opportunity to play a little small ball. Rincon, the number 6 batter in the order, awaits the 0-2 from Sandoval. It's taken low and away in the dirt, and a good block by Adam Cebulka to keep it from getting past him. The count is 1-2. Robert Morris entered play today with a 6-4 conference record. Good for third place so far in the CCAC, behind St. Francis and St. Xavier. High pop foul behind home plate, not a play. Still 1-2. St. Francis, the only unbeaten team left at 8-0, but again, St. Xavier has played significantly more games. They're 11-1, and technically a game up in the standings on the Fighting Saints, but those games will be made up. Fly ball center field. Bailey Schultz takes a step back and makes the catch. One away. Sushi returns to first base, and the batter is Spasaro. The designated hitter, Jacob Spasaro, is hitting .212 with 10 runs batted in, 1 home run, 2 doubles among his 11 hits. Suchi takes his lead away from first base as Sandoval walks to the rubber. Over at the runner at first, and now Sandoval sets. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, fouled away for strike 1. They may have had the hit and run on the first pitch of that at bat. Remember, that stolen base in the first inning led directly to a run ultimately scoring for Robert Morris, and it's given them a 1-0 lead that they hold now in the second. One on Spasaro. Righty to righty, the pitch. Outside to even the count. Spasaro is a senior. He's an infielder by trade. Grand Rapids, Michigan, just like today's starting pitcher, Blake Casterline. Both men were community college transfers, but not from the same place. Weak ground ball right side. Peterson charges it, picks it up, and throws over to first for the out. Suchi does advance to second base on the play. The ball was just hit too softly to have any chance of getting the lead runner. Peterson made the only play he had a chance to. And it is the second out of the inning as Spasaro grounds out to second. Here's Nelson. Austin Nelson, the catcher, batting for the first time. He's a right-handed hitter. Batting 182 for the year. Nelson takes the ball high, 1-0. Two outs and a runner at second base. Suchi reached on a leadoff single, moved up to second just moments ago on Spasaro's ground out. Sandoval set for the 1-0. 2. Sandoval has not fallen behind too many hitters today. It's only the second time he has not gotten ahead of a batter in this game with the first pitch strike. 6 for 8 in that category. 2-0. Swing and a miss, and it gets by the catcher Cebulka and all the way to the backstop. Suchi advances to third. It is a strike. Again, the pitch was wild and went to the backstop. This inning is playing out in some ways very similar to the last inning. The difference at the moment is the lack of a stolen base. Suchi did take off on one pitch, but it was a foul ball. He had to return to first. Now he's at third with 2 down. 2-1 on Austin Nelson. Nelson hits a foul ball. Nelson this season has not driven in a run. This is a good opportunity for his first. Sandoval, though, trying to put him away. 2-2 pitch. Ball in the dirt. Good block this time by Cebulka. Count goes full. Center fielder Ty Castillo is in the on-deck circle. Castillo, though he hasn't had much of a season at the plate, it's not somebody you want to face with 2 men on base, including one of them at third. Full count pitch to Austin Nelson. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A huge strikeout for Sandoval. First one of the game for either pitcher. And despite the leadoff single, Robert Morris doesn't score. They leave a man at third. We go to the third. 1-0 Eagles. It's the top of the third inning. Travis Schoonover, Dustin Krob, and Jake Lesota, the top of the St. Francis batting order, due up. Facing Mike Casterline the second time through. Saints got 3 base runners against Casterline the first time through the batting order, no runs. Schoonover swings through the first pitch. We're underway in the third. He was not one of those base runners first time through the order. 0 for 1. Grounded a full count pitch over to the second baseman. It's a pretty hard hit ball to lead off the ball game, but ended up grounding out 4-3. This time it's a hard grounder right at the shortstop. Adam Nur up with it and over to first, 1 away. 6-3 on the putout. All but one of the outs in the game so far, recorded by Mike Casterline, have been on the ground. He's got 1 fly ball out, 6 ground outs. There's Dustin Krob. Krob is 0 for 1. He grounded out. 5-3 back in the first. Takes ball 1, low and outside. Through 2 innings, the Saints have had 3 base runners. The Eagles have had 2, but it is Robert Morris leading 1-0. Ground ball to the left side. The third baseman Kemp bobbles it and does not have a play. Krob is safe at first. That's an error on the third baseman. And the Saints have a 1-out base runner. So there's their 4th base runner of the game. The key difference so far has been that Robert Morris has gotten their leadoff man on base both of the first 2 innings. They've been able to cause some trouble as a result of having runners on, whereas the Saints have not been able to develop anything before there was at least 1 out. Here's Jake Lesota, 1 for 1 with a single. In the dirt, heading down to second base is Krob. The throw is not going to beat him. In fact, it skips by the second baseman, Chris Broccolino. Rolls out to center field. Not far enough for Krob to advance to third base, but enough to make sure that he'd be safe at second. Very aggressive base running so far today by St. Francis. They've got a man in scoring position with 1 out. 1-0 count on Jake Lesota. Pitch from Casterline, misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. It was Lesota, in fact, who took charge on a play back in the first inning with 2 outs. He was at second base. A ball hit the dirt. He took off immediately. Nearly got thrown out as he swings and misses here, 2-1. throw down to third base had him beat by a wide margin, but he was able to slide around the tag. 2-1, tying run in scoring position. The pitch from Casterline. Grounded to third base and foul. It's 2-2. One out. Krob reached on an error. Moved up to second base. The first pitch to Lasota, which could not find the zone. A little bit wild. 2-2 on Lasota. Grounded to the shortstop. Picked up cleanly by Nur. The throw to first is out number 2. Krob advanced to third base on the play. The ball was hit a little bit behind him, so he was able to move up 90 feet. We've seen some interesting base running in this game from both sides on balls that are in the dirt, on attempted steals, just general advancements of a bag at a time. That ball, where it was hit, looked like a tailor-made double play if there's a man at first base. Anthony Farron swings at the first pitch, pops it up to shallow right center field. Duggar comes in, makes the catch, and ends the inning. On one pitch, Farron is retired, and just like that, St. Francis' scoring threat is done. Through 3 innings, they've left 4 men in scoring position. Not on the board yet, though, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-0, Robert Morris. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, Robert Morris has a 1-run lead, and they'll try to extend it with the number 9 batter leading things off. Ty Castillo, the center fielder, takes the first pitch up in the zone for strike 1 from Angel Sandoval. Sandoval has retired 6 of the 8 batters he's faced in this game. The two men who have reached against him have been the leadoff hitters in each of the first 2 innings. There's a ball low, 1-1. Nur singled back in the 1st inning, stole second, moved to third on a groundout, and scored on a wild pitch. That's the only run of the game thus far. Ball low and away, 2-1. Then last inning, Tyler Succi singled, moved to second on a groundout, third on a wild pitch, and was stranded at third. Strike called, 2-2. Robert Morris so far has done a pretty good job of getting guys on and then moving them over. Station to station baseball. They were only able to get 1 of the 2 runners in, but every half inning so far in this game has featured at least 1 base runner reaching scoring position. Filed away, still 2-2 on Castillo. Ty Castillo is just a 176 hitter. He does have 3 RBIs on his 6 hits this year, and he has scored 10 runs. Probably as a pinch runner, I would imagine, more than anything. He checks his swing and takes the ball inside. The count goes full. 3-2. Nobody out. Nobody on base as Castillo leads off the 3rd inning. Back to the top of the order after the conclusion of this at bat. And misses high for ball 4. First walk issued by Sandoval today. And for the third consecutive inning, the leadoff man reaches for Robert Morris. So if Castillo at some point this inning makes it as far as second base, which is certainly not a sure thing, but probably a pretty smart bet, it'll be the 6th consecutive half inning in which at least one base runner has moved into scoring position. Neither pitcher has done a great job of keeping the other team off the base paths, but so far both men have been able to limit the damage. There's a called strike one on Adam Nur. Nur smacked an 0-1 pitch in the first inning out to right field for a single, and then later scored the first and to this point only run of the game. Sandoval from the stretch with a runner on the move. Fires a strike. The throw down to second base is in time. Out number one, Castillo gunned down trying to steal second, and a big first out of the inning for St. Francis. It is 0-2 on Nur as the pitch was a strike. So a doubly good pitch for Angel Sandoval. Got strike two, and then a strong throw from Adam Cebola caught Ty Castillo down at second base. And for Castillo, that's just the second time in 8 attempts this year that he's been caught stealing. Ball one high on Nur. And as we've already seen in this game, this is a team that likes to run. It's the third time they've tried a stolen base. They've only had 3 base runners. 1-2. Ball low and in. 2-2. Coming into play today in 24 games, Robert Morris had 39 steals as a team. David Duggar is their best stolen base threat, 12 of them this year. He is on deck right now. Didn't reach base in the first inning. Grounded to the left side. Charging it as the shortstop. Krob over to first. It's a low throw, but Farron's able to stretch and dig it out to retire Nur for out number 2. Here's David Duggar. 1-0 Robert Morris in the bottom of the third inning. Duggar, the 356 hitter, is 0 for 1. He hit the ball square in the first inning, but flew out to left field as Sean Harper was able to back up and make a nice catch. He rips this ball down the left field line. It's fair. It's going all the way down into the corner. Extra base is coming up for Duggar. He motors around first and into second base, a 2-out double. Duggar is 1 for 2. He's got the 3rd hit of the game for Robert Morris. That's his 8th 2-base hit of the year. I don't know if that ball was hit as hard as the first one, which turned out to be a deep fly out, but it was pretty darn close. A smoke shot off the bat of Duggar, who's had a good day swinging the baseball bat so far. He puts himself into scoring position with 2 outs for Ricky Kemp. Kemp grounded out to second base in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up foul to the left side over the dugout and out of play. Strike one. So here we go. Robert Morris did indeed get a runner into scoring position. Every team has had one in each inning so far today. It wasn't Castillo, it was Duggar. Oh, and 1 on Kemp, a 382 hitter. Check swing tapper back towards the mound, picked up by Sandoval. Throw to first, retires him for out number 3. Kemp didn't seem to mean to go around there, but he couldn't stop himself. Ended up tapping it right back to Angel Sandoval. An easy 3rd out of the inning, and despite the 2-out double from Duggar, no runs as he's left at second base. Heading to the 4th, it's 1-0 Robert Morris. 1-0 Robert Morris at the top of the fourth. Jonathan Wolf leads things off for St. Francis. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Mike Casterline's first pitch of the inning misses low and inside for ball 1. Casterline's been sharp. He's only allowed 2 hits through 3 innings. They were both in the first inning. Saints have had at least 1 base runner in each of the first 3, though, as Wolf flails through strike 1. Count is even. They got a walk in the second inning, reached on an error in the third, so they've had 4 total base runners. All 4 of them have made it into scoring position, but nobody has yet gotten the hit to knock them in. There's ball 2, going outside Wolf. 2-1. Hasn't necessarily been an easy showing from Mike Casterline. There have been some long at-bats, some long innings, but he has been unscathed so far. Time is called by the catcher before the 2-1 pitch to Jonathan Wolf. Wolf will be succeeded this inning by Adam Cebulka and John Peterson. If anybody reaches, Sean Harper will bat. 2-1 pitch. Chopped down the third baseline foul, 2-2. Fourth inning is when it starts to feel like it's getting late in a 7-inning ball game. Fighting Saints have been fighting to try to reclaim the tie or take a lead for the first time. Swing and a miss. Wolf goes around for strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game. Most of the outs have occurred on the ground. Casterline now has 37 Ks for the season in 36 1/3 innings. And that brings up Adam Cebulka. Cebulka is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third base in the second inning. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. Adam Cebulka has made a defensive impact in this game in both positive and negative ways. Mostly positive. He threw out a runner trying to steal last inning. He's blocked a couple of pitches in the dirt as well. The 0-1. Hit in the air out to right field. Duggar moves over to his right, comes in and makes the grab. 2 down. The one negative you could say is that Robert Morris got their only run on a wild pitch. Now when you put on the catcher, it wasn't a passed ball, but still anytime you have a chance to stop something that leads to a run, I'm sure you beat yourself up about it after the fact, whether or not it is your fault. 2 outs, nobody on base. Casterline is looking for not just his, but the first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Or the afternoon, I should say. Ball up and away on John Peterson, 1-0. Peterson was on base his first time up. He walked. In fact, it was a 4-pitch walk. So he's seen 5 total pitches in today's game, and none of them have been strikes. And that changes right here. Strike 1 right down the pike, and Peterson looked like he was going to take a strike all the way there. Wanted to make sure that Casterline could throw him one before he looked to swing. There's a swing and a bouncing ball down the third base line under the glove of Ricky Kemp and out into shallow left field. Peterson is safe at first. We'll wait to see if that's a hit or an error. Went under the glove of Ricky Kemp. He was charging it on the play, not an easy one for him, but if he had scooped it up cleanly, I don't think he would have had any problem throwing out John Peterson at first base. Call it a hit for Peterson. 3rd hit of the ball game for St. Francis. 2 outs and a man aboard. All 3 of the hits have been 2-out hits. Let's see if Harper can add to that number. Soft liner to the right side, and it'll hang in the air for Chris Broccolino to make the catch. On 1 pitch, Harper is retired. So it turns into a pretty quick inning for Casterline despite the 2-out single. No pressure put on him late. And we'll head to the 4th. The bottom of the 4th, that is, with our score. Robert Morris 1, St. Francis 0. 1-0. Robert Morris has the lead as they bat in the bottom of the fourth inning. 4, 5, and 6 due up in their order. Chris Broccolino fouls back the first pitch for strike one. Broccolino is 0 for 1. He ended the first inning with a fly out to center field. However, he was in the batter's box when the only run of the game thus far scored. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Sandoval has 1 strikeout so far in the game today. He's looking for number 2 in this at bat right here. Broccolino, a .286 hitter, was standing in the box in the first inning when Nur came home on a wild pitch. There's a sharp grounder, third base side. Sliding stop. Jonathan Wolf gets up and throws a strike over to first base to retire Broccolino. 1 away. Great play by Jonathan Wolf, as he had to step hard to his right to make a sliding stop down the line before popping up and making that strong throw over to first base. The leadoff man is retired by Sandoval for the first time today. Here's Tyler Succi. He takes ball 1 up and in. Succi singled to lead off the second inning. Made it as far as third base before being stranded there. Swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch. The count is 1-1. Just over halfway through this first game of the doubleheader. St. Francis trails Robert Morris 1-0. Mike Casterline's done a good job shutting down the Saints' bats so far. Succi takes the ball high, 2-1. Saints came into today's game on a 12-game winning streak. They've hit well, they've pitched well, they've fielded well during the streak. They really have not had any weaknesses. Ball up and in, 3-1. Not too many of the games have even been close. They've won during the streak by scores of 9-4, 18-1, 5-0, 8-1, 8-1 again. There's a high fly, shallow right field. Travis Schoonover moves over to his right and makes the catch. 2 down. They've rarely been threatened. They've had a few 3-run games, but only once during the 12-game winning streak have they won by fewer than 3 runs. And that was game 2 of the streak back on March 13th. It was also game 2 of a doubleheader that day against Calumet St. Joseph. They went into extra innings. The Saints won 5-4 in 10. Here's Diego Rincon taking ball 1 inside. Rincon is 0 for 1 with a fly out. 2 outs, nobody on in the fourth. Foul tipped, it's 1-1. Interestingly enough, Calumet St. Joseph almost won that game on March 13th as the Saints walked off in 10 innings. Since then, St. Francis has not lost. Calumet St. Joseph has not won. They're on a 12-game losing streak right now. Only once during the streak have the Fighting Saints been held under 5 runs. That was a week ago today against Grandview. It was a 3-0 win. Sandoval was on the mound in that game. You can't look at today's game and say, well, it's all coming to an end. For one thing, there's a long way to go. Mike Casterline has pitched well, and Casterline's a very good pitcher. Entered play today with a 1.91 ERA for the season. So it's not exactly stunning that the offense has had a little bit more trouble getting going today than it has in other games of late. But the Saints still have an opportunity to come from behind and win this game. They're down by just 1 with 3 innings still to play. 1-1 on Rincon. We're ready to go. And Rincon takes a strike over the inside corner. It's 1-2. Two outs, nobody on base. Sandoval looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Ground ball to third, foul. Still 1-2. Despite the fact that it has been a pitcher's duel, just 1-0 in the fourth inning, neither team has had a 1-2-3 frame. Sandoval has allowed just 1 base runner in 2 of the first 3. Another 1-2 pitch, misses outside, 2-2. Casterline has faced just 4 batters in each of the last 3 innings, but never only 3. It's 2-2 on Rincon. 2 outs, nobody on. The pitch from Sandoval. in the dirt. It's 3-2. So he doesn't want to lose him now and put a base runner on with 2 outs. Jacob Sposaro is in the on-deck circle. There was 1-2 on Rincon. It's been 2 strikes for the last 4 pitches. Has not yet been able to put him away. Now the payoff. Rincon grounds it down the third base line. Another backhanded stop by Wolf. Another long throw. And this time it gets away from Farron and sails down into the bullpen. Heading to second base is Diego Rincon, and he is now in scoring position. A hit and an error, advancing him to second base. Rincon keeps the inning alive. It's an infield single. Tough play for Wolf. Even a good throw would have been a bang-bang play. But deep down the line, right behind third base, after making the backhanded stop, Wolf tried to set his feet and make the throw across the diamond, and it was wide of the bag. So Anthony Farron made a diving effort for it. Tried to hold his foot on the base as he made that diving attempt at catching the ball and couldn't do it. Couldn't do either, really. Strike 1 called on Jacob Sposaro. Sposaro is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second base in the second inning. This is the 4th consecutive frame now that Robert Morris has put at least one man in scoring position. In each inning, he's put exactly one man in scoring position, as his pickoff throw to second base is not in time to catch Diego Rincon. In fact, he's faced exactly 4 batters in each of the first 3 frames. The 0-1, hit in the air, down the right field line, scoot over, and Farron chases it in a foul ground, and both men give up as the ball lands on the berm out of play. It's 0-2 on Sposaro. 2 outs, a runner at second base. Rincon reached on an infield single and then advanced to second on a throwing error from Jonathan Wolf. Austin Nelson is in the on-deck circle. Robert Morris already leads by a run, but they can add to that lead. Sandoval can put an end to those thoughts with 1 more strike. The sophomore righty sets for the 0-2. Ground ball up the middle to his left, picked up by Krob. He bobbles, throws to first. It's not in time, and now between third and home, they're going to try to catch Rincon in a rundown, and they're not going to be able to do it. He comes in to score. It's 2-0 Robert Morris as the Saints botch the rundown. Heading down to second is Jacob Sposaro. Tough play for Dustin Krob as he had to range to his left to field that ball. If he had made the play cleanly, he would have had the out at first base, but he bobbled it. After the bobble, the throw to first was late. Rincon went hard starting the play at second base. He went hard to third and then around third base. He stopped about halfway down the line, started going back to third, and that's when Farron decided to throw to third base instead of throwing home. Rincon immediately changed directions, went home, and scored easily. Here's Austin Nelson, swing and a miss, strike 1. So it's now 2-0 in favor of Robert Morris. They've gotten their runs in kind of wacky ways. Their first one came in on a wild pitch, and their second one on a mishandled rundown. The 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2 on Nelson, who struck out swinging in the second inning, the only strikeout victim of Angel Sandoval's today. Sandoval trying to put an end to the 4th inning, the 0-2. Check swing on a ball up high, it's 1-2. Nelson is the 5th batter of the inning. First inning that has seen 5 batters today. 1-2. Called strike 3 over the outside corner. The inning is over. Second strikeout for Sandoval. But a run scores for Robert Morris on a wacky 2-out play. And a wacky 2-out rally after Sandoval had 2 outs and a 1-2 count on Rincon. He wasn't able to finish off the inning. And Robert Morris adds 1 to make it 2-0 heading into the 5th. trailing 2-0 with 3 innings to play. St. Francis comes to bat in the top of the 5th. Bailey Schultz, Travis Schoonover, Dustin Kroeb due up against Mike Casterline, junior ace of the Eagles, who's been sharp again today. This is inside for ball 1 on Schultz. Bailey's 0 for 1 today, flew out to right field, and that was as close as the Fighting Saints have been to scoring a run today. Strike over the inside corner, 1-1. On paper, maybe the first inning was a little bit closer. They had runners at second and third with 2 outs before Jonathan Wolf grounded out to end the inning, but the second inning was actually a little bit more tense, at least for one moment. 2-1 on Schultz. They had John Peterson at second base with 2 outs. Schultz had a fly ball to right field. Wasn't very deep, but Duggar came in too far on it. Check swing. Ball missed outside on appeal. He didn't go, so it's 3-1. Duggar started in, then recognized the ball was over his head, had to reverse course very quickly and made a grab as he reached his glove up to its absolute apex. Just barely pulled it in. It would have been a hit and a run for the Saints if it had been hit maybe just a foot further out to right field. Strike 2 called on Bailey Schultz. A full count on the leadoff man here in the 5th inning. 2-0, the Saints trail. Schultz swings and grounds it right at the third baseman, Ricky Kemp. Kemp's throw to first is in time for out number 1. The leadoff man is retired by Casterline for the 5th consecutive inning. And now he faces the top of the order for the 3rd time today. Travis Schoonover is 0 for 2. Schoonover has grounded out to both middle infielders. 4-3 in the first, 6-3 in the 3rd, and now here he is batting in the 5th inning. Swinging at the first pitch, it's foul to the right side. Not much offense to speak of for the Fighting Saints today against Casterline. Again, the Saints have scored 5 runs or more in 11 of their last 12 games. They've won all 12 of them. Ball 1 on Schoonover to even the count. St. Francis has not been shut out of the games this year, though they have been held to just 1 run on 5 different occasions. Ball low and in, 2-1. They've still got 8 outs to play with in this game, so they're not thinking about that at the moment. But the way this game has been pitched, a 2-run deficit as it is now, it was much larger than the 1-run deficit they had last inning. Schoonover shoots it into left field, backing up and making the catch is Diego Rincon. 2 down. Schoonover is 0 for 3. Here's Dustin Kroeb. He's 0 for 2 so far. 3 hits for St. Francis are all singles. Lasota, Farron, and Peterson are the possessors of those hits. Dustin Kroeb has grounded out to 3rd, and he's reached on a 3rd baseman's error. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So both times up, he's hit ground balls to Ricky Kemp over at 3rd base. Ball high, 1-1. Still, neither pitcher has been able to throw a 1-2-3 inning. Casterline has come close, retiring the first 2 batters twice. He's done it now 3 times. Can he get this 3rd hitter right now? Kroeb takes a ball inside. 2-1 is the count. 2 outs, nobody out. Lasota on deck. Down by 2 here in the 5th. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Gloved cleanly by Adam Nur. The throw to first base is in time to end the inning. It is a 1-2-3 frame from Mike Casterline as the Saints go down in order. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Eagles. Bottom of the fifth, Robert Morris is looking for some insurance as they lead 2-0 late in this game. Ty Castillo leads things off against Angel Sandoval, who's been on the mound the entire way thus far. Sandoval misses low for ball one on Castillo. Castillo walked his first time up. It's the only walk issued in the game so far by Sandoval. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 2 runs in the ball game for Robert Morris, and both of them have come about on rather odd plays. Rather odd ways, really. Adam Nur back in the first. So there's a ball outside. 3-0 on Castillo. Nur singled in the first, stole second, moved to third on a ground out, and scored on a wild pitch. So it's your classic run manufacturing right there, instead of a big hit knocking him in. There's a called strike over the outside corner. And then in the 4th inning, with 2 outs and nobody on, Rincon singled, advanced to second on a throwing error, and then scored when Jacob Spasaro reached down an error. Called strike 2 over the outside corner. An error that Spasaro reached on was even more bizarre because Rincon was caught up in a rundown between third and home. But the Saints were not able to snuff out the rundown. Threw to the wrong base and couldn't catch the ball over at third. There's a grounder to short. Dustin Krob gathers and throws to first in time. Sandoval comes back from 3-0 on Castillo to retire the leadoff batter in the 5th. And now it's the leadoff batter in the batting order, Adam Nur, hitting for the 3rd time with 1 out and nobody on. Nur is 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the way that I mentioned just a moment ago in the 1st inning. Last time up, he grounded out to the shortstop. And he calls time before stepping into the box here. 1 out, nobody on base. Sandoval, despite the fact that he is losing right now, has pitched a fine ball game. Ball high, 1-0 on Nur. He's allowed just 1 earned run through 4 1/3. There's a called strike over the inside corner, 1-1. Sandoval working quickly. The next pitch is rolled weakly foul to the right side. A ball and 2 strikes. Adam Nur, a .268 batter coming into play today. Draws a lot of walks. He's got a .428 on base percentage. He checks his swing on a ball inside. They'll appeal down to first. He didn't go. So the count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nur is from New Lenox, Illinois. Attended Joliet Junior College last year. He checks his swing on a ball outside, and this time no appeal. He did not go again. 3-2. Second consecutive hitter to start this inning to see a 3-2 count from Angel Sandoval. And this one is fouled back and out of play. Nur transferred in to Robert Morris prior to this season. Enjoying a good first year with the Eagles. He takes ball 4 up high. It had been 1-2, but Sandoval lost him. In fact, that's his 2nd walk of the game. Both times he had the hitter in a 1-2 count at one point in the at-bat. But Nur is aboard to add to the total of base runners in Robert Morris's stat sheet today. That's 7 of them now through 4 1/3 innings. David Duggar hits a foul ball back off the screen. Strike 1. Most batters consecutively that Sandoval has retired in this game is 3. That's something he's done 3 different times. But he's never really truly gotten into a rhythm today. He's pitched well, despite the lack of clean innings. Ball outside, 1-1. And that is because maybe he's only retired 3 batters in a row, never more than that, but he's also only once in the game allowed back-to-back batters to reach base. As his pickoff throw to first keeps Nur close to the bag. The only back-to-back runners were in the 4th inning, and both of those were on infield ground balls. One of them was an error, one of them was ruled a hit, but was also a bad throw. Fouled back, 1-2 on Duggar. The hit was probably the right call on that one, but it also could have been an error. 2 outs and a runner at first base. 1 and 2 on Duggar. Sandoval trying to put an end to the bottom of the 5th inning. Steps off the rubber. That's the sign in from Adam Cebulka. Now he's ready for a 1-2. Check swing on a ball up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still only 1 out in the inning. It's been a long inning so far for Sandoval. He's thrown 17 pitches so far here in the 5th. Some good patient at bats from Robert Morris hitters. Duggar swings and misses, strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Sandoval. 2 outs in the inning. Nur still at first base, and the batter is Ricky Kemp. Kemp is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. I mentioned that there have been a lot of patient hitters on Robert Morris today. They've got a lot of patient hitters in general. They've taken 107 walks this year compared to St. Francis's 89. Their pitching staff, by the way, has only issued 77, so they're at plus 30 in terms of walk differential. Ball up and away on Kemp, 1-0. That means despite having virtually the same batting average as St. Francis coming in, their on-base percentage was actually 25 points higher. First base sends Nerd diving back to the bag. He's at first with 2 outs. It's 1-0 on Ricky Kemp. Next pitch from Sandoval. Swung on and fouled back, out of play. 1-1. They also, for what it's worth, strike out a lot more than St. Francis does. And a lot more than their pitching staff strikes out their opposition. I don't know if that's worth anything in this particular point. As Kemp takes a ball low, 2-1. Sandoval does only have 3 strikeouts today, but it just goes to show that they'll see a lot of pitches. And you can wear down an opposing starter that way. Throw to first base, and the runner's back in safely again. Sandoval's keeping a close eye on Nur over at first base. He did steal a bag earlier in the game, and it led to a run scoring. It was a huge stolen base. It was also his 6th of the year. So Sandoval knows he's got to be careful with him. 2-1 on Kemp. He takes a strike over the outside corner. It's 2-2 now. It has been a very long inning for Sandoval, but he can get out of it untouched with 1 more strike here. The right-hander is ready to go. The 2-2 to the left-handed hitting Kemp is lifted out to left field. It drops in front of Sean Harper, a base hit. Nur advances to second base on the play. A single for Kemp, his first time on base today. And there are 2 on with 2 out for Chris Broccolino. Broccolino is 0 for 2. One of the main reasons that Sandoval has been able to hold Robert Morris's offensive output down in this game is the fact that the 3 and 4 hitters entering this inning at least had gone hitless, 0 for 4. But Kemp is in the hits column now. Broccolino trying to join him, and he lines it foul down the third base line for strike 1. Broccolino certainly hit it hard enough to enter his name on the hits line on the stat sheet, but he pulled it foul by about 5 feet or so. Dropped it down in shallow left field. 0-1 on the cleanup hitter and second baseman. Broccolino has flown to center and grounded to third. Sandoval out of the stretch is set for the 0-1. Hit high into the air, left field. Sean Harper over at a left center makes the catch and ends the inning. A walk and a hit, but no runs for Robert Morris as they leave 2 men on base in the 5th. We go to the 6th, 2-0 in favor of the Eagles. Saints trail 2-0 into the 6th inning. They've got just 6 outs to work with, and the heart of the order coming up here in the 6th. So this would be a good time to get going offensively as Jake Lasota leads things off. Lasota takes the first pitch for a ball. It's 1-0. Lasota 1 for 2 today with a single and a ground out. Mike Casterline has retired the last 4 batters he's faced and 8 of the last 9. Lasota takes a strike up in the zone to even the count. He's got one of only 3 hits in the game for St. Francis. All of them have been singles. Aaron's got one. Peterson's got one. Peterson's was an infield single. Called strike 2 on Lasota. Casterline has him where he wants him. He's only struck out 1 batter today. It was Jonathan Wolf leading off the 4th inning. But a good strikeout pitcher over the course of the season. 1-2 comes in righty to righty, and Lasota chops it down the third base line. Tough play for a charging Kemp. He gloves and throws. Not in time. It's an infield single for Jake Lasota. And the leadoff man reaches for the Fighting Saints for the first time all day. The throw, I think, pulled first baseman Tyler Succi off the bag. I think that was the call there at first base. Ricky Kemp made that one as quickly as he could. Lasota, not the fastest runner. A speedy runner probably would have beaten it easily. For Lasota, it was a close play. And now the umpires will gather together at the behest of Jason Becker and discuss whether or not he is safe at first, and he's not. After the discussion, they reverse the call. Lasota is ruled out at first base. So take the hit off the board for St. Francis and put an out on the board. 1 away, base is empty in the 6th, and now Brian Mahalik will offer his explanation to the umpire. I think his explanation probably not as important in this case as the umpires, but anytime you have a call reversed on you as a manager, you almost have to go out and at least talk with them for a minute and see what exactly is going on. Mahalik will walk back to the third base coach's box after he loses that challenge essentially from Jason Becker. Becker came out, forced the umpires to get together, and the home plate umpire apparently saw it a little bit better than the base umpire. He ruled that he was out. So it goes 5-3. 1 away. Here's Anthony Farron. Anthony Farron takes ball 1 from Mike Casterline. Farron is 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. Popped out to right field in the 3rd inning. He pops this one up behind home plate, back towards the press box, and out of play. Strike 1. Count is even. 1 out, nobody on base. 1-1 on Farron. High fly down the right field line. Again foul. And again out of play. Casterline is 1 strike away from retiring the biggest threat right now to Robert Morris's lead. And biggest thing of all for the Eagles is to see Farron batting with nobody on base. He can't tie the score with 1 swing. Ground ball to third base. Another chance for Kemp. Another clean grab and another strong throw as Farron is retired by half a step. 2 down. It's been a very busy day for Kemp. He's had 7 assists over at third base on ground balls. He's had a few other balls hit his way too. There's one that he couldn't handle. That was the Johnny Peterson single back in the 4th inning. Went under his glove as he charged a softly hit ground ball. Jonathan Wolf is 0 for 2. He has seen Kemp take one of his ground balls as well. He bounced out 5-3 in the 1st. He struck out his last time up. It's a foul ball here for strike 1. That strikeout to lead off the 4th inning is the only K on the score sheet for Mike Casterline today. Ground ball to the left side. Ranging to his left and gloving it is Adam Nur. The throw to first base is in time. Casterline has retired 7 in a row. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Saints trailing 2-0. Tyler Succi leads off the bottom of the 6th inning with Robert Morris leading St. Francis 2-0. He swings through Angel Sandoval's first pitch for strike one. Succi is 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out in the ball game. Foul tips this pitch. It's 0-2. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. For the Fighting Saints, Robert Morris has 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. Both of those errors against St. Francis came in the same inning. Ball low and away, 1-2. And both of them combined to allow a run to score. They could have kept Robert Morris off the board in that inning by preventing either one of those errors. Ball downstairs on a check swing. He didn't go. It's 2-2. Both errors, though, in conjunction with one another, were able to allow Robert Morris to get an insurance run on the board. They lead 2-0. Ball outside, 3-2. 3 straight misses from Sandoval. Robert Morris got their first run way back in the 1st inning. There's a ground ball to third base. Jonathan Wolf gathers and throws for out number 1. Leadoff batter retired by Sandoval for just the 3rd time today, but he's done it 3 consecutive innings. First 3 innings saw Robert Morris's leadoff batter reach base each time. Here's Diego Rincon. Rincon is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. He's the guy who got that 2nd run of the game. Makes those errors. Ball inside, 1-0. He earned his way on base, but 2 of the 3 bases he advanced to were because of defensive mistakes. There's a called strike. It's 1-1. Sandoval just trying to get through this inning cleanly and give his offense a chance to come from behind in the 7th inning. There's ball 2 on Diego Rincon. Jacob Spasaro is on deck. Austin Nelson in the hole. Sandoval is hoping he doesn't have to face Nelson, but he doesn't have a perfect inning yet in the game. Ball high, 3-1. The same was true of his counterpart Mike Casterline for the first 4 innings, but Casterline has really settled into a groove and retired 7 consecutive batters. 3-1, and he takes a strike. The count is full. Casterline did have some early problems, in particular in the 1st inning when St. Francis had runners at 2nd and 3rd in that one, but didn't score. Check swing, foul ball. Rincon stays alive, literally and figuratively, as he had to fight that one off as he backed away from it. Would have been ball 4 if he had not offered, and I don't know that he went around with the bat, but he made contact with it as he tried to check up his swing. So the at-bat goes up. This will be the 7th pitch. And it's fouled away. Over the last 2 innings, Sandoval has faced 7 batters, and 4 of them have seen a full count. 2 of the others had 2-2 counts. So there have been some long at-bats. Good batter versus pitcher battles these last few frames. Swing and a miss. He chased one upstairs for strike 3. 4 strikeouts now for Sandoval. 2 down in the 6th. And the batter is Jacob Spasaro. The designated hitter is 0 for 2. He grounded out to second base in the 2nd. Reached on an error in the 4th on a ground ball he hit to the shortstop. That Dustin Crowe bobbled. Lines this ball sharply into left field. That's a base hit. 2-out single for Jacob Spasaro. And that'll bring up Austin Nelson. A perfect inning continues to elude Angel Sandoval. This had been the 2nd time that he retired the first 2 batters. Last time he retired the first 2 batters, Robert Morris was able to mount a 2-out rally. Sandoval would like to prevent Austin Nelson and company from doing that here. Nelson is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Once swinging and once looking. First pitch to Nelson. Clips the outside corner for strike 1. 2-0 Robert Morris in the bottom of the 6th. The 7th inning will feature Cebulka, Peterson, and Harper due to hit for St. Francis. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Sandoval is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and leaving Sposaro over at first base. Here's the 0-2. Popped up foul to the right side. Farron over in front of the dugout watches that ball sail out of play. Still no balls and 2 strikes on Nelson. A 182 hitter. That was entering play today. He's now 6 for 34 for the season. Actually make that 6 for 35, including his 0 for 2 today. Another 0-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Sposaro over at first base. He singled just moments ago. Robert Morris leads by a pair. Another 0-2. In the dirt with a runner on the move. Cebulka throws down to second base, and it's not in time. Wild pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nelson. Sposaro in scoring position. Cebulka kept that ball in front of him. I don't think he recognized right away that Sposaro was trying for second base. If it had registered immediately, he probably would have been able to throw him out relatively easily. 1-2 pitch is swung through for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning, 5th of the ball game for Angel Sandoval. And the Eagles don't score in the 6th. They leave 1. We go to the 7th. St. Francis needs at least 2. Top of the 7th inning, St. Francis trails 2-0. One last chance here to extend their 13-game winning streak. Adam Cebulka leads things off, or extend their winning streak to 13 games. Cebulka swings and misses for strike 1. 0 for 2 in the ball game. He's grounded out and flown out. Mike Casterline has dominated ever since the early innings. Saints got 4 base runners all into scoring position over the first 3 innings. They've only had 1 man reach ever since. There's a swinging strike. It's 0-2 on Cebulka. Casterline has retired 7 consecutive batters. He's gotten 11 of the last 12. Cebulka chases one downstairs for strike 3 on the swing. And there's out number 1 here in the 7th inning. Second strikeout for Casterline. Both of them have come to lead off innings. Here's John Peterson. Peterson has not been retired today. During the current stretch of 12 of 13 retired by Casterline, Peterson was the only man to reach. as he reached on an infield single in the fourth. He takes strike one here. He also walked back in the second inning. Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up after this one ends. The 0-1 pitch to Peterson. In the dirt for a ball, 1-1. It'll be about a half hour after the conclusion of this one. The Saints are hoping this one extends a while longer. Ball outside, 2-1. Casterline bidding for his 5th victory of the year. It would be more than twice anyone else on the team. They've got 3 pitchers with 2 wins. Peterson hits it high in the air out to right center field. Duggar chasing it back. Duggar still going just in front of the warning track. Finally pulls it in for out number 2. Peterson took that ball for a ride, but he is retired for the first time today. And Sean Harper is the team's final hope. 9 straight retired by Casterline, trying to finish the game with his 10th in a row. This would be his 2nd complete game of the season. I would assume he's usually been pitching 9-inning contests. Sean Harper takes ball 1 high. Harper has grounded out to third, and he's lined softly to second. Called strike 1. The count is even. Casterline winds up and delivers. Check swing from Harper. It's a strike, 1-2. Casterline looking to put away Harper and the Saints. The 1-2 pitch with 2 outs and nobody on base. Swung on and missed for strike 3. He chased it in the dirt, and that'll do it. 2nd strikeout of the inning for Casterline, who finishes looking better and better as the game goes on. He had just 1 strikeout through 6 innings. He strikes out 2 in the 7th and finishes the ball game having retired 10 consecutive batters. So Robert Morris snaps St. Francis's mighty winning streak and deals them their first conference loss of the season. 2-0 the final score here in Game 1 of the doubleheader. And a truly impressive pitching performance from Mike Casterline. Angel Sandoval was good as well, but not quite good enough as the Eagles take the opener in today's doubleheader in this 3-game weekend series. Let's take a look back over how this game played out. Robert Morris scored in the top of the 1st inning and never trailed. Adam Nerd led off the ball game with a single. Or I should say led off the bottom of the 1st with a single. Robert Morris was the home team in this game. He stole second base, moved to third on a Ricky Kemp groundout, and then crossed home on a wild pitch. St. Francis had some early chances to score as well in the 1st inning. They had runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, but were not able to score. They got a man to 2nd in the 2nd inning and to 3rd in the 3rd inning, but neither of those base runners were able to score either. And over the final 4 innings today, they had just 1 total base runner, so never really threatened again. Robert Morris, meanwhile, doubled their lead in the 4th inning with 2 outs and nobody on. Diego Rincon singled and moved up to 2nd on a throwing error. He scored when Jacob Sposaro reached on an error. Rincon would have been caught in a rundown, but a poor throw from Anthony Farron over to third baseman Jonathan Wolf allowed Rincon to come in to score easily. That made it 2-0. Really, 1 was enough for Robert Morris. 2 was more than enough as the Eagles come away with a 2-0 victory, improving their record to 15-10 for the season. St. Francis falls to 16-12. They dropped their first conference game and are now 8-1, while Robert Morris improves to 7-4. They're in 3rd place, or I think they're 4th place right now in conference play. Game 2 of this doubleheader is coming up in just about a half hour, so stick around. About 3:10, 3:15, we'll have the second part of this. That'll be a 9-inning game, and I will be back to deliver the action, so hopefully you'll be back as well. But for right now, I'll take a break. Robert Morris beats St. Francis 2-0 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Mike Casterline picks up his 5th win of the year. Angel Sandoval takes his 4th loss. So I'll be back in a little bit. Right now, I'll step aside.